How you doing, everyone? You alright? It's Cody again. Just want to contact you today on the news yesterday of the funding for the prisons and stuff, and probation and police and everything, rather than being dealt with by like the Ministry of Justice and the government at Whitehall. It's actually been transferred now to the local authority. Now, our local authority, there's no way that they're going to be able to dispatch this money equally across all departments, right? It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. I mean, you drive around, people pay road tax and tax and everything else. You're getting less bin collections. The roads are just full of potholes and stuff. And now they're in charge of this nationally governed money, which is going to come directly to the local authority. And as a former prisoner, they're talking about rehabilitation, reoffending, bringing reoffending levels down, resettlement for prisoners. As a former prisoner, right, trust me on this, mark my words, right, it's not going to happen. The prisoners are going to get the short end of the stick again. Right, I did an interview yesterday for Granada Reports on this matter. Now, people want to tell me that, oh, well, prisoners should be directed to and everything else. Right, if you're talking about resettlement, rehabilitation and reoffending, right, then you should speak to prisoners. Get a prisoner's perspective, point of view on the matters that matter to them. What would stop them committing crime? What educational programs can we put them on? Right, if you give a prisoner, right, a training in a trade, and he gets nationally recognised qualifications which he can use when he gets out of prison, right? And they say, right, when you get out, we're gonna make sure you've got somewhere to go. Like, even if it's a hostel, if you've got nowhere to live, you go to a hostel, right? And then they put them in contact with employment services that deal strictly in ex-prisoners, like former prisoners, cons, whatever you want to call us, but give them a leg up to be able to better themselves, to get these jobs, to get this training, and so that when they get out, they can earn a source of income. If you come out of prison, right, and you've not been put through any decent courses, which doesn't happen, to be honest. I mean, the courses that prisons put you on are from probation. Probation, we're in prison as a prisoner, right? The probation will come to you and say, right, we want you to do this anger management course, right? So, or whatever course it is. And what the lads do is they know that to get out of prison, to get probation, to get out, to get parole, that they need to tick boxes. So they'll do the course. They don't want to do the course. There's no interest in doing the course. They just turn up, yeah. Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, right? They don't want to do the courses because they're getting nothing out of it. Then when they leave prison, they're just kicked out of the prison gates with about, I can't even remember how much I got when I left. About 36 quid, 37 quid or something, 38 quid. You're kicked out. You go home, or you go to wherever you go in, right? You've got no source of income, no educational training behind you. So what happens? Oh, you turn back to crime because that's what you know. If you've got a drug addiction, or you're an alcoholic, or you just need money to feed yourselves, to feed your families and everything else, you go back to crime because that's what you know, which makes sense. If the only job for a criminal, if he's not being put through educational programs, is to go back to being a criminal because it pays the bills. It's not... yeah, you might get caught and stuff. If you commit 30, 40 crimes, you might get done for 1, maybe 2, right? But then you've got the ones that you get away with and stuff. And the simple fact is crime does pay to an extent. Yes, you can get caught. Yes, you can go to prison. We all know, like, it's risk against reward and all that sort of stuff. But now, another thing what makes me laugh as well, I saw an interview with someone yesterday and they said, we're going to lower reoffending, but then they're building another prison. Hold on. So you're going to bring crime levels down, right? And you're going to bring reoffending levels down, which means that there's not going to be as many people in prison, right? That's my belief anyway. But yet we're going to build another prison. Now, how does that work? So we're going to cut reoffending. We're going to drop crime levels. So the knock-on effect of that is that less and less people will go to prison. But yet they're going to build another prison, which is going to cost millions and millions of pounds, right? So why not invest or like build bigger, right? Strangeways, right, in Manchester, Old Victorian Prison, right? Forest Bank, right? Why do they not extend Forest Bank, make another couple of wings, extend the land, right, which they can easily do, and then build another wing. Why build another prison from scratch? It's going to be a waste of the taxpayers' money. It's going to be a waste of resources. Why not deal with what's there now? They can't even look after the prisons that they've got now, right? So how's it going to change building another prison? They've not got enough prison officers to bloody police the prisons that are there now, but yet they want to build another one. The local authority, right, that are going to be in charge of these purse strings. I mean, I think one of the people, or one of the main people, is going to be the mayor next year when this comes in. Now, the mayor of Manchester, I think Andy Burnham, the MP guy, and Tony Lloyd, the police crime commissioner, he's going for the job as well. Now, the police crime commissioner, right, Tony Lloyd, is best friends. Well, he was best friends with the chief constable Peter Fahey, which is now gone. And his thing is police. So all it is going to be a case of is the more police on the streets, more bars in prisons, more CCTV cameras, more dog patrols, more prison officers, right? So, and that's just the way it is. Why not actually change the course of these lads' lives in prison, right? And actually put them on courses worthwhile. Speak to the prisoners, get a perspective, give them a trade, give them a leg up, right? It's not going to eradicate crime, we know that. It's not going to eradicate reoffending, but it will give them an option and a chance. So when they get out, they can go and earn money. If you're earning £9-10 an hour doing a job, right, as a former criminal, because you've got a trade behind you, because the government or the local authority have invested money into the prison programme, right, for the lads, they can get out, they can earn a good wage. Then what happens? They pay tax. By paying tax, they're putting money back into the pot, so that other prisoners down the line can benefit from it, right? And people, I'm thick as pig shit. Let's go with no qualifications, right? But it's common sense at the end of the day. Now, all these lads in prisons are not thick as pig shit and everything else that people think, and people demonise people in prison. You know what? There's a lot of lads in prison that have made bad mistakes and made bad choices in their life, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be crime, whatever, necessity, need, whatever, crime. They just wanted to commit crime, right? But there's some good lads there, and if they're given the chance to, I'm talking as a former prisoner here, if the lads are given a chance to better themselves, to earn money, to do it legally, right, then they'd do it. They would, trust me, they would do it, because it makes absolute perfect sense. But what will happen with this money from the local authority? They're going to build another prison, more bars, more cameras, more dog patrols, more infrared cameras, more prison officers and more police officers, more probation. Will it go on the prisoners? Absolutely not. The prisoners are going to get the short end of the stick again, because the prisoners, and no one thinks that they deserve a basic lack of thing. Right, if you're in prison as well, another thing, I want better treatment for prisoners and better conditions for prisoners. The prisons are overcrowded, right? Now, what they should do is small crimes up to X amount, they should walk away with supervision orders or community service or electronically tagged or something and put back into the community, right? Prisoners that are serving like longer periods of time, they should, then I agree that they should probably be in prison to an extent, right? But the smaller crimes, let them go under, and let the nets catch the big fish, the big criminals, and put them behind bars, and then that would free up space in prisons. Then there'd be no need to build this other prison. There's another talk when we was in prison as well, like as a prisoner as of 2 years ago, right? People were talking about Strangeways in Manchester, the only Cat A prison in the northwest. And what's going to happen to Strangeways is, we know how much, as prisoners, we know how much that land is worth, right? Now, Strangeways will be a prison that will close because it's Victorian, it's run down, it's dilapidated, and all this sort of stuff. Apparently, there's been a big investment, and they've built loads of stuff, and they've repaired loads of stuff. Don't believe it for a word. Trust me, do not believe it. I know people that are still in there. Load of crap, right? So what they need to do is invest the money wisely into the prison system and look after what's already there, right? And then that will save millions of pounds. And then these millions of pounds they're saving should be invested into prisoners' education, resettlement, education courses, rehabilitation. Because ideally, the only person that can rehabilitate yourself, all these courses that the probation force you to go on, and that's what it is, forced. Because if you don't, you ain't getting out of prison when you're supposed to, because you're not ticking the boxes that you're supposed to tick. then what will happen is the lads will lose the way. They'll go out, they'll commit offences again, and they'll end up back in prison. And like I say, it's just a vicious circle, this crime. It's just a vicious circle. If you're homeless, right, and you go to prison, you got 3 meals a day, got a roof over your head, your cell's heated, you've got a bed to lie on, right? You've got drugs and mobile phones there on demand. So it's not really a deterrent, is it? So what they need to do is invest in the prisoners, educate them, rehabilitate them, and resettle them into society, so that they're not just kicked out on the street, land on your ass, and then you go and commit the first crime you see possible. There's better ways to deal with things. We're living in the 21st century, and I would like to see better treatment conditions. And just I'm not asking for much. I just want the chance for prisoners to be able to better themselves when they get out. Is that too much to ask? I mean, honestly, all the millions and millions of pounds that the government were paying to the European Union and stuff before all that Brexit stuff, right? They need to level it across the prisons in the UK, invest in the prisoners, because the prisoners, they can change the course of these people's lives and stuff. If you're going to if you're going to stop reoffending, right? If the government are so like, oh, we're going to stop reoffending, this, that, and the other, then actions speak louder than words. Let's see it come into fruition. Right, listen, I've gone on for long enough. Thank you very much for your time, as always. Stay safe, and speak to you soon. God bless, guys. Bye.